Hello, I am Orange Cat, and this is my quick review of South Park Season 22, Episode 7, what I believe was entitled Nobody is Serial, or something like that. It was the second part of a two-parter revolving around Man Bear Pig and being an analogy to the global warming. I thought, let me start with some of the stuff I actually liked about this episode. Some of the gags I liked about this episode was the Al Gore film, how the spirit of Al Gore was really just a film projection, how all the credits were just him listing himself, like something like an Al Gore or a Neil Breen thing to do, just to show his narcissism. Though I believe that became maybe too much of the episode again. It's like, I'm Al Gore. Look at me, I'm Al Gore. I'm doing Al Gore things, and I'm amazing because I'm Al Gore. Basically, although that was not as obnoxious as the last episode. Another thing I like about this episode, I just love the concept of Satan in this episode. How I love the kind of epic fight scene they had between Satan and Man Bear Pig, especially considering how quick the show has to get its animation out. It was actually pretty well done considering that constraint. And just like kind of the pseudo emotional ending with the Satan being like, "You have to fight" as he was dying, about the absurdity of the concept of Satan himself, the whole immortal being dying, and not only that, but him going to heaven. I just thought it was just a really amazing contrast idea. I don't know why, just thinking about it makes me still laugh. That was actually a very clever thing for the show to do. And one thing I kind of liked was the whole "when should we start worrying" bit. I actually kind of hated it the first time it was introduced in the episode with the town meeting, because it was just bland and was very blatantly about how people kind of just they're aware of global warming, they believe exists, but don't really care about it, which really is most people. And really, if you think about it, and if you, I just kind of like the second part where it was like the TV public access show. The very beginning of that part where it was the main guy and the first guest. He was talking about we watched Satan getting ground up like ground up like a little bitch and sent to heaven. How he said that in like such an NPR tone, that level soft tone, was just very funny, very hysterical too. And really, that's kind of where the good stuff in this episode end, which was a longer list than last episode in my opinion. I also just first thing I'm going to point on is just the overall theme of the global warming and people's inattention to it. I thought again it was pretty heavy-handed. Like South Park's usually really good at being subtle when they're pushing points. But this time they're being like, "Oh, global warming's killing people, and people are denying it. LOL. Look at these people. They're stupid. They're denying scientists. The claiming everything's a school shooting when really it clearly isn't. You have every evidence to believe it's Man Bear Pig. It was a bit heavy-handed. Although I kind of liked how they did the ending with the we're gonna confront it. We kind of try to confront it, but then we're like, no, we just push the back further with presumably worse consequences with the renegotiation with the Man Bear Pig saying, oh, in 5 years he's just gonna want his stuff 1,000-fold. I kind of like that because it's about global warming too. Like, oh, we pretend about it, we just pollute more in the atmosphere, and it's gonna get worse. Other than that, I didn't think the message was placed subtly enough. It just gave something for the people who are like really, really smug into it. Personally, I believe in global warming, so that's just my point right there. But people like really smug about it. It gives them more ammo. Like, yeah, we're holier than thou, and it's just gonna piss off all the people that are like in that middle group with the like we believe in it, but like it doesn't relate to me on a personal level, so I'm not gonna care about it. It's just one of those things that it might make the show lose more fans than gain fans from that. Just how it was handled. That's just my personal opinion about it, right? You have your own personal opinion. That's cool. And another thing I didn't like was the whole concept of the old people making the deal with the man bear pig. Like I thought when I was hinted the last episode, I'm like, they're gonna do something really clever with it. Like it's gonna be something very fundamental to the show. Like I saw a fan theory online that said that oh, it's gonna describe they want immortality and explains why no one ages like how it is in a normal cartoon, but like time still progresses linearly, like how we go from what was the Clinton presidency to the Bush presidency. We have episodes about both of those, and then the Obama presidency, and then now the Garrison presidency. but at the same time, Stan's still late. The kids are still late. Everyone's roughly the same age as they were. No one ages. I thought that'd been clever, like a perpetual life cycle that only exists in like South Park. But unfortunately, they didn't go that route. They just go with the whole, oh, we were selfish and wanted ice cream and fancy cars route, which I guess you can make the analogy with the cars, like, oh, they're gas guzzlers, that's global warming, but the ice cream, I mean, they could have really done it. Like, they kind of hinted, like, oh, we were a small town back then. But if they should have focused on, oh, we wanted the town to be built up, so we use all this, like, gas guzzling equipment to build up the town for free because we got Matt and Bear Pig to do magic stuff to get it for us. But they didn't go that route. They weren't. It felt very rushed, an idea like, oh crap, in the writer's room, how do we do this? Oh, let's just throw up that they wanted cars and ice cream. It was very nonchalant. And another criticism I had was the ending was very abrupt. Like you go from we're gonna confront Bear Pig, you gotta believe us to we're just negotiating with him. Which I thought was a kind of fun thing, but the whole like, oh, he thinks this epic battle, like how Satan and Man Bear Pig was this battle. Look how epic this next battle is gonna be. Where they defeat Man Bear Pig, but really it's just like a standard law negotiation. Which I got a chuckle out of me, but at the same time, I was considering how awesome the Satan Man Bear Pig fight was. I kind of hoped it was another one like that, and it just felt like they wanted to throw everything else in that episode, especially if the kind of unnecessary C plot with the police chief and his wife, which tied in very bizarrely here in the end, where it was like, oh, my wife kind of cheated on me and has a good life now in Red Dead Redemption 2. Holy shit, we need to stop Man Bear Pig. Like, I didn't see how they made that connection, but it looked like they sped up that connection for the sake of fitting everything into this episode. That's just another general criticism I have. But that's just my overall take the episode. I thought it was a step better, or a step or two better than the preceding episode. Like there were more good jokes in it. And I guess the Al Gore bits weren't nearly as obnoxious in this one. They actually put some kind of funny humor into it. But overall, I still think this two-parter has been probably the lowest part of the season for me. I'll give this episode a 6.5 out of 10. I gave the first part a 5 out of 10. What do you think? I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority on this one, but what do you think? Please leave a comment below. If you like this video, if you want more content like this, please give a like. Please subscribe. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. I am Orange Cat, and that is all.